Funding for Here and Now comes from the Museum of Science in Boston, dedicated to inspiring a lifelong love of science and everywhere, in museums, classrooms, and online, offering engineering design challenges, digital experiences, live presentations, and more. MOS.org. And Loomis Sales, working to fulfill the investment needs of institutional and retail clients worldwide by integrating proprietary research and risk analysis to develop a customized approach for each investor. LoomisSales.com. Social media isn't all bad for some young people. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech. I'm Megan McCarty-Carino. Concern in recent years about the harms of social media use for kids. The sites can be addictive, ripe for cyberbullying, and contribute to increased rates of body dysmorphia, anxiety, and depression. The growing evidence has led at least a dozen states to pass laws attempting to restrict access to online platforms for kids. But despite the risks, there can be benefits to finding communities online, especially for LGBTQ plus teens and young adults, according to a recent report from the nonprofit Hope Lab and the Born This Way Foundation. It found they felt significantly safer expressing their identities online compared to in-person spaces. Marketplace Tech's Jesus Alvarado has the story.
Micah Reyes, a 24-year-old trans man, has carved out different queer communities on the internet he feels are safer than real-world spaces.
You may be in a part of the world where there's a bigger LGBTQ plus population, but there are those who are maybe in an area where there is not a big community surrounding them. And so that's why those online spaces are really important.
According to recent data from Hope Lab and the Born This Way Foundation, about 80% of LGBTQ plus teens and young adults feel safer expressing their sexual and gender diversities online. The survey included more than 1,200 teens and young adults, ages 15 to 24, and though Micah feels as though his hometown of St. Petersburg, Florida is a bit progressive, laws like HB 1557, also known as a Don't Say Gay law, makes him feel less welcome.
Banning teachers and such from expressing their identity as well as potential, lash if teachers support trans students or, anyone in the LGBTQ community.
So, Micah says he likes to go on social media.
Instagram is a way that I've connected with people, and then I've also connected with people through Zoom meetings.
On Zoom, Micah has been able to be a part of a handful of support groups for queer folks, helping extend emotional support and resources to others in that community.
I created my own Instagram page for the LGBTQ plus community, where I post videos and I provide peer-to-peer support sessions virtually.
His Instagram algorithm pushes him to other queer content and creators. Amy Green is a lead researcher for the Hope Lab and Born This Way report. She says social algorithms are a big reason teens and young adults in the queer community feel safer and supported in online spaces.
They often don't have as much control over their in-person life. And so on these online spaces, they can work to actively curate a feed and follow influencers who remind them of themselves.
But when users on social media aren't as nice, Micah says the block button exists for those online trolls, whereas in the real world,
the button doesn't exist and it can end in really bad consequences.
Micah is focusing on growing his Instagram presence and wants to reach more queer followers online to offer peer-to-peer support. And he hopes the online support he experiences will translate to real-world settings in the near future.
That was Marketplace Tech's Jesus Alvarado. I'm Megan McCarty-Carino, and that's Marketplace Tech. This is APM.
And this is WKSU Idea Stream, Public Media. Good to have you along this afternoon. I'm Jeff St. Clair. Support for WKSU comes from you. Thanks. Additional support comes from
Baldwin Wallace University's Department of Political Science presenting Dr. Robert Alexander to discuss the topic of addressing the polarization pandemic in the U.S. on Tuesday, April 8th at 7 p.m. Information at w.edu/events.
start of trading on Wall Street as President Trump's sweeping tariffs rattled global markets. Democrats are accusing Trump of causing economic chaos on purpose. Get the latest economic news on Morning Edition starting at 5 a.m. on WKSU Idea Stream Public Media.
Coming your way on tomorrow's Morning Edition with Amy Eddings. Many of the state's new rest stops are designed with Ohioans with disabilities in mind.
One of the terrifying things I learned
How universal changing tables are filling a need for Ohio families. That's on Morning Edition tomorrow on WKSU. Quick look at the forecast for this Thursday, April 3rd. Slight chance of showers, warmer temperatures. 65 right now across the region. Showers 45 are low overnight tonight. A flood watch remains in effect through Sunday.
Funding for Here and Now comes from the Mayrodra Institute for Business Markets and Society, hosting the Is Business Broken podcast, featuring conversations with academics, industry leaders, and politicians. More at ibms.bu.edu. And WBUR presenting Endless Thread, a podcast about the internet's untold histories and unsolved mysteries, from stories about a mountain of dishware in the woods to the world's largest glitter consumer. Endless Thread. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Wait, what?
From NPR and WBUR, I'm Robin Young in Boston.
And I'm Peter O'Dowd in Phoenix. This is Here and Now. In Queens, New York, nearly half the residents come from other countries. One international community there meets every month in a church hall to celebrate their culture. Reporter Jeff London takes us to the New York Indonesian Food Bazaar.
The church hall in Elmhurst is lined with tables offering various delicacies on the sides of the space, and picnic tables in the center filled with people eating those delicacies. Tuti Sumarmi is a tiny woman in a hijab. She's been selling sweet treats and banana leaves, all types of fritters and skewers, since the bazaar began 14 years ago.
I like to meet a friend, new people, and I can promote Indonesian food, and I make money. Right?
Promoting Indonesian food is one of the reasons Fifi Anggono, an immigrant from Surabaya, founded the bazaar. It's part of a non-profit organization called Indonesian Culinary Enthusiasts.
We try to introduce the culinary to non-Indonesian people.
There are approximately 10,000 Indonesian immigrants across the New York area, and many come to grab a taste of home. But the bazaar attracts many non-Indonesian people who are just looking to try food they can't get anywhere
Trying to take
else.
down the trees?
Stephen Rafferty, the local New York Assembly member for the district, showed up looking for his favorite drink made of cantaloupe and watermelon.
There's such a concentration of diversity here in the Jackson Heights, Woodside, Elmhurst area. Number one, it means there's good food everywhere you go. Number two, you can see that there's different cultures that are not just celebrating their culture and heritage every day, but also just teaching it to a new generation.
Pauline Liao immigrated when she was 2 years old.
I was born in Jakarta, and I would go back growing up every few years, and I don't know, around here there's not really a lot of Indonesian food, so when I found this on Instagram, I was really delighted.
Liao had several bags of food to take home. She says it's hard to get ingredients to make authentic Indonesian